Well, it's December in the Derby Canyon Retreat, and I'm here to check up on things. Tiny little breeze has our wind turbine moving. I think that's the first time I've seen that. This is, again, if you're new to the channel, this is an off-grid well house. The main reason I built the structure this way is so that when we have 4 feet of snow out here, which we get, I'll still have the ability to enter through, or access the well, I should say, through that protected area. Now coming up here, this front section is going to be an outdoor shower. That's more for summertime. It'll have a passive solar heating application. But what I'm really curious about, see how our solar and our charging is doing. So it looks like the battery is completely full. That's honestly what I would expect this time of year. For those of you who don't know, solar panels are actually the most efficient when they're cold. It's just usually you don't get more production in the winter because our days are shorter. The equation, if you will, for solar production is basically the hours of daylight multiplied by the wattage of the panel and the hour, and there's other measures of sunlight and that kind of a thing. But the colder the temperature, the more efficient the panels operate. Now, when we run this thing, we're basically just maintaining it. And the inverter is currently off, but when I switch that on, so right now the well is set to 60 PSI. It's being powered via our batteries to inverter to 120, and we have water. Now, one thing that I'm not so familiar with, and I definitely need to get a test done in the springtime, is this water smells heavily of sulfur. I'm curious if any of you have experience with that or know what that means. This is a well, it's 100 feet deep, but man, it smells strongly of rotten eggs when I have this water laid out on the floor. So I'm curious if any of you know what that means and what we might need to do that, or to correct that. I don't know if that means, I just don't know what that means. So if you guys have experience with wells or water that smells like sulfur, I'm curious to know what that means. Need to do a little homework myself. Now when I go to leave it, I'm going to turn this pump off because I do not want to damage my faucet or spigot. If we leave water in there, then obviously it can freeze, expand, crack, and do all kinds of bad stuff. So now that I've got this system powered down, I'm going to drain it. Try to make sure everything gets out of there so we don't have any chance for expansion and damage in the head of the spigot itself. And let all that other stuff in the line return well back below grade so that we're not really too worried about freezing. There you have it, a solar and wind powered off-grid well.